What if I told you a new era of machine had begun? A unique style that has never been witnessed before. An ignited heartbeat that would send shivers down your spine. The Honda is back, unleashing hell and fury upon the tarmac roads. It's called the CB1000R. G'day guys, and welcome to another 60 Degrees review. And today, Team Moto Honda has been kind enough to lend us this all new CB1000R. Now the Honda CB1000R was discontinued a little while back, and this is the all new revised version they've come out with. And I think they've done really well. All new styling, power, and a few little trick things here and there.
The first thing I notice about this bike is it's such a visual treat. What a bike to just sit and look at. It looks amazing. The brushed aluminium finishes against the black, the style of the headlight, it all works so well. It hasn't made it a full retro. It's gone its own way, and it really works. It's a fantastic looking bike.
Yeah, that's right. We were discussing today, trying to figure out what kind of category it would go into, comparing to possibly the MT10 or the Z900 RS from Kawasaki, and it's kind of an in-between, and they've really gone their own way, and I think they've done an amazing job. It's a very pretty bike. It's something beautiful to look at. Standing back at it, it looks great, but as soon as you get up close, you see all the small detail. For example, something I noticed is the machine highlights on the engine here. The engine covers, they've got a bit of pearl through them as well, a bit of speckle that just really adds another depth to it.
Yeah, you see that in the right light, and it really, you notice it.
It comes up and really, it's right in your face, and it looks great. I enjoyed today just looking at it being ridden as well as riding it. Every time the bike went past, you wanted it to turn around and come straight back so you could look at it some more. With its retuned and reformulated engine stripped straight from the Supersports Fireblade, Honda has claimed that this new and improved naked machine produces over 143 horsepower at 10,000 RPM and delivering a serious bite of torque at 104 Newton meters at just over 8,000 RPM.
She eyes me like a Pisces when I am weak.
I suppose the difference though with those hyper nakeds is it doesn't look the same on paper. Yeah. The numbers aren't as big, but once you get on it and ride it, the feeling you get, it's not as brutal as an MT10 if you're comparing it to that. Like the MT10 is just, you get on the throttle and it's aggressive. And if you're not careful with it, it'll punch you in the face every time.
Yeah, this is more controllable.
More controllable, more forgiving. The way the power comes on, it comes on strong but smooth. It
doesn't put you off. It gives you more confidence.
Exactly,
It's probably an easier bike to ride fast.
Yeah. Although the specs may not read that impressive for a litre class 1000cc engine, especially when comparing to its other naked rivals, which in this case, that should be completely ignored, as its vicious yet subtle delivery is much more usable throughout its power band. You'll have no problem keeping in line and possibly overtaking with a fiendish grin. From 0 to 130 km an hour, the CB1000R is quicker than its Supersport brethren, thanks to its shorter gearing and lower torque curve. This malicious machine isn't one to take kindly at a set of lights.
The brakes are progressive. Everything you'd sort of expect from a Honda. The build quality and the riding of it is just superb. It doesn't pull up savage, very predictable. It does what you expect it to. Very surprising to see just the normal rubber lines There's no squeezy sort of spongy feel at all, is there? It's very solid.
Yep.
The suspension from standard straight out of the shop, to me, is near on perfect for our rough roads. It's soft enough, yet it's firm enough to give it the good handling through the corners. The thing turns fantastic. It's got great steering lock. You can actually do a U-turn on this bike quite easy. It's nice and supple, not too firm, not too soft. It's a really good compromise.
One thing we did notice, it hasn't got a steering damper, but we didn't really notice that. It handled really well. It actually feels a lot lighter than it is.
And very stable.
Very stable.
Very stable through the corners.
With fully adjustable shower front fork suspension and variable rebound and preload on the rear end, the CB1000R could not be more adaptive and restful on our Australian roads. It truly inspires confidence to test its limits when manoeuvring through sharp hairpins and long sweeping corners. There is no need to be in a mad hurry to take hold of the brake lever, as the additional and adjustable engine braking works like a charm. Although with the Takiko 4-pop brakes and 310mm floating discs up front, 256mm disc on the rear brake with the added 2-channel ABS. Stopping is no difficult task.
This bike comes with riding modes, which most things do have these days. You've got sports mode, you've got standard mode, and you've got rain mode. It is noticeable, the differences.
It's not a dramatic.
It's not huge, but it is there.
I've ridden other motorcycles where if you turn the traction control right on, you really notice it, and it's very intrusive. It just keeps coming in. You just want it to bugger off. With this, you got the traction control turned all the way on, but it's not intrusive. You barely even notice it's there.
I think that also comes down to the power delivery. The way this thing does deliver the power so evenly and smoothly that the traction control doesn't have to kick in. You're getting drive rather than wheel spin. You know, that's the feeling the bike sort of gives you. And the funny thing is, riding it in sports mode, you're thinking just how lovely the power delivery is. Then you put it on standard setting and it's even smoother.
With a push of a button, Honda has developed an option for a personal touch, giving you the availability of designing your own user mode, which includes increasing or decreasing power, traction control, and engine braking. However, these modes can't be adjusted on the go, which is a grand idea, keeping your eyes focused ahead in case any trouble comes to pass.
It's also great to be on a bike when you're riding in traffic and you have to, you know, take off at the lights, or you're at a stop sign, you're starting off from a standstill. You don't have to rev the engine and slip the clutch to get it going in the fear of it stalling. This thing just pulls away at very low revs.
It's got plenty of torque.
Very
to get
torquey.
it going, isn't it?
Yeah. The bike comes across as being very refined, doesn't it? You know, I think is a good word. Yeah.
Not all is perfect with the newly released CB1000R. With no surprise, the kickstand is in an awkward position, and as you'll find, the collector is placed directly under the foot peg, making the task difficult for you to wedge your foot between the two, and the radiator sticks out like a sore thumb, making it highly exposed and vulnerable to foreign materials.
We seem to get that a lot on bikes, don't they? It's the last. It's like they throw it on last. Go, oh, we forgot to put the kickstand on.
Yeah.
I know, we'll put it here.
Yeah,
and
that's right. We have seen it on quite a number.
Yeah.
Mainly the collector is just in a weird spot.
You're always looking down, searching for it. Where is it? Where is it? Once you get used to it, you realise the best way to kick it down is just put your heel back against
you lift the peg a little bit.
Lift the peg slightly, and there it is. And then you can push it down. The other slightly annoying thing I would say is the mirrors. They're just probably not quite wide enough. When you look in the mirrors, you see your arms, which takes up probably a third of the mirror.
Yeah, again, that's something
that's
else
another
that we're
common
seeing
thing.
Quite regularly. The mirrors just aren't quite wide enough. The first third of the mirror is just your arm.
Yeah.
They're not bad, but I mean, it could be better.
There's no nasty vibrations in the mirror. The vision is very clear.
Yeah.
So, it's not we're searching here to find something wrong.
Really?
And it's very hard to find.
With its manoeuvrability and comfort, it just doesn't seem to replicate what you initially feel in comparison to its dimensions and size. For instance, the wheelbase comes in at 1455mm, but has the movement and agility of a lightweight professional boxer. The spacing of the foot pegs are placed at a much higher altitude in comparison to the previous model, and yet it doesn't make you feel like a crunched up ball with your knees tucked in under your earlobes. Instead, it provides you with great posture and stability.
This isn't a very expensive bike.
That's true. That's true.
And especially with the finish and the refinement of it, it looks like an expensive bike.
You do get a lot of bike for your money, don't you?
You do.
You get a lot of bike.
I think, what was it, around 16 and a half?
16 and a half plus on road, I think it is, yeah.
That's a good price.
That's a fantastic price.
Again, when looking at comparing and other things, for example, the MT10,
Yeah.
you know, that's a lot more expensive.
It is more expensive. To me, it doesn't look as good as the Honda. It doesn't ride as nice as the Honda. That's just my personal view. Power delivery on this I prefer.
Yeah, yeah, I have to agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed the MT10. I really liked it.
But this is more manageable.
Yeah, this
isn't
is,
it? You know.
You know, the MT10. You got to constantly be wary of what you're going to do and how the bike's going to react.
Yeah, yeah.
You give it too much throttle.
You're more cautious with the throttle, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know.
With this, you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah, just hit it and it goes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The front end can get light, but it won't stand right up.
It won't stand right up.
No,
yeah.
it does get a little light and then back down and off we go.
Yep.
The thing that I just remembered is how easy would servicing this thing be?
Oh, look, yeah, we
Where
noticed.
that oil filter is.
It's so easy to get your hands on it.
Just on the other side there, right on the side.
So easy.
Pop it straight off.
So easy.
You don't need to try and get your hand around the exhaust or anything.
Yep. And to check your radiator fluid, it's right there in behind or in front of the swing arm, which is amazing. It's so easy to get to,
It's
so
got
easy to see.
Yep. The thought that's gone into the whole thing.
So much thought into the details of
That's
it.
right.
The finer details just really work. I think Honda's really come up with a winner on this one.
Well, that's probably why it's been so long since the last CB.
I guess they've had some time
They've had some time to really sit down and think
work
about
on
it,
this bike,
note
yeah.
out the problems,
Yep.
and get it right.
Yeah.
And
make noticeable improvements.
I think they've got it right.
Oh yeah.
We would like to give a huge shout out to Team Moto Honda at Springwood Moss Street for lending us this newly released CB1000R. If you have enjoyed this video review, make sure you click the big thumbs up. And if you would like to see more video reviews, hit that subscribe button in the center of the screen.